IDF troops have eliminated over 1,000 Hamas terror operatives and captured an additional 1,000 operatives over the course of the past 3 weeks alone. Israeli Defense Minister Israel Katz asserts that there is national and institutional consensus to go after Iran's nuclear infrastructure. Israeli Foreign Minister Gideon Sa'ar acknowledges progress in talks for a diplomatic resolution to the Lebanese front. Deep behind enemy lines within the heavily battered Gazan town of Jabalia, IDF Chief of General Staff Lieutenant General Herzi Halevi told the Southern Command commanding officer Major General Yaron Finkelman, along with field commanders of the 162nd Division, that their actions have sent Hamas a clear message.
We are sending Hamas a very clear message. The IDF does not tire. The more we fight, the stronger we become, gaining more experience, capabilities, professionalism, values, and determination. We are progressing with great intensity. The fact that you are concluding 3 weeks here with approximately 1,000 terrorists killed and roughly another 1,000 terrorists captured is a very significant achievement that deals Hamas a severe blow.
Subsequently, General Halevi and his general staff welcomed at the IDF headquarters in Tel Aviv the newly appointed Defense Minister Israel Katz, who seized the opportunity to highlight Israel's priority of confronting Iran and its proxies, with chief focus on the Islamic Republic's nuclear program.
The priority, as regarded by this government and may have been the priority of previous governments, is the Iranian issue. To thwart Iran a nuclear weapon. We are now positioned, because of what happened, to include the quality of our operations, the very strong strikes that Hezbollah sustained, because of what happened versus Iran in relation to the balance of power. Today, Iran is more exposed than ever before, both practically and perception-wise. The perception of its exposure is no less important here.
Jerusalem's top defense official went on to relay to the IDF's general staff that there is national and institutional consensus to go after Iran's nuclear infrastructure as the Ayatollah regime inches closer to the proliferation of nuclear weapons.
Today, there is broad national and institutional consensus that we must thwart Iran's nuclear program. There is also an understanding that this is operationally viable, with the necessary adjustments and the necessary collaborations, not only from a security perspective, but also from a diplomatic aspect. We can today achieve this goal, which is the most important: to thwart and remove the threat of annihilation that hovers over the state of Israel. We have an opportunity, and you must bring about our entire capabilities to implement this, and I believe and I am confident that you will know how to do it, so that we may jointly know how to realize it.
Defense Minister Katz further reiterated his remarks about victory over Hezbollah amid a significant uptick in cross-border rocket fire by the Iranian proxy from Lebanon toward Israel's northern communities.
The impressive and powerful operations that were implemented against Hezbollah, I called it victory. So, some say they are firing. Yes, they are firing. They have capabilities. Nevertheless, there is victory and a picture of victory. Therefore, we must capitalize on it and the operational successes to include the offensive operation so that we will reap the fruits of victory.
Minister Katz went on to stress that Hezbollah will not receive any respite as Israel forces the Iranian proxy to its knees.
There won't be any ceasefire, nor will be there any temporary cessation of hostilities from Hezbollah's attacks. However, if an opportunity arises in which a proposal is brought forward that will enable the implementation of our terms for victory, which essentially means Hezbollah surrender, in the event it receives all of our terms and conditions that we will know how to coordinate with the United States and they will know how to realize it, then we will of course consider it seriously. Such a result, in which Iran is deterred, in which Hezbollah is defeated, in which we have achieved objectives that seemed unrealistic up until the campaign had begun and even in the middle of the campaign, that will realize the conditions for a return of our northern citizens in a security environment, while degrading the capabilities of Hezbollah.
It is important to know that Minister Katz's remarks about victory were said to have triggered Hezbollah to launch the largest amount of rockets toward Israel's northern communities since the war began, with a number of projectiles directly striking residential structures.
Police at the beach sector of the Asher precinct arrived first to all of the impact sites of the incoming rocket salvos. Under the command of Deputy Commissioner Yehiel Boadena, arrived to the points of impact from the last salvo, which was truthfully extraordinary in scope. This salvo resulted in 3 direct impacts in residential homes. We are standing next to one of them. In this scene, we have 1 casualty in moderate condition. In the other scenes, we have 2 additional casualties in light condition, and there were also 10 individuals who suffered from shock. Moreover, we have 2 additional apartment buildings in Kiryat Atta that were struck as a result of the incoming rockets. We have another scene in Kiryat Bialik where a rocket penetrated a rooftop and entered into a residential home with a woman who suffers from shock. We also have another scene in Kiryat Matskin with damage to property without any casualties.
Meanwhile, in Jerusalem, Israeli Foreign Minister Gidon Saar told reporters that he believes some progress has been made towards a diplomatic resolution to the Lebanese front.
I think there is certain progress working on the issue. We are working with the Americans on the issue. There is progress, and we will be ready to be there if we will know, first of all, that Hezbollah is not on our border, is northern to the Litani River, and that Hezbollah will not be able to arm again with new weapon systems and so on. That will come from Syria, from the sea, from the airport, anyway.
According to Minister Saar, who is also a member of Israel's Security Cabinet, the greatest challenge to ongoing efforts to translate achievements in the battlefield into a diplomatic resolution relates to Israeli demands of enforcement to ensure that Hezbollah does not revive its capabilities following the culmination of the war.
The main challenge eventually will be to enforce what will be agreed. 1, on the issue of getting them not near the border, northern to the Litani River, and secondly, not let them build again their forces they use in order to attack us. And that will be the challenge. But there is work on the issue, there is certain progress.
Despite making progress on a diplomatic solution, Foreign Minister Gidon Saar explicitly stressed that the war versus Hezbollah is not over yet.
First of all, about the first thing, I think the war with Hezbollah is not over yet. Our objectives for our war with Hezbollah are not the same to our objectives with regard to Hamas and Gaza Strip. There are differences. What I can tell is, and I think that Minister Katz related to that capabilities of Hezbollah were significantly reduced.
Meanwhile, in Lebanon, Hezbollah's head of propaganda acknowledged that the Biden administration was discussing matters related to a diplomatic resolution with Russia and the Islamic Republic of Iran. Nevertheless, according to him, Hezbollah is apparently kept out of the loop.
The arrival of U.S. President Trump to the presidency, and in a period of 2 months before he assumes his presidency legally and officially, there is a great movement between Washington, Moscow, Tehran, and a number of capitals. There is a lot of talk in the media, a lot of political ideas and initiatives. We hear a lot of talk, but so far, according to my information, nothing official has reached Lebanon or us in this regard.
While Iran evidently spearheads negotiations on Hezbollah's behalf via separate international channels, the Iranian proxy, as well as its local Shiite ally, Aman, are bearing dozens of terror operatives on a daily basis, with many others evidently unaccounted for.
We are losing our dearest ones, but we believe that they are joining Allah, that they are going to a better place. We don't like anyone to depart us. We pray peace comes to our country. We pray for the war to end, but it coincides that at our border with occupied Palestine there is an entity occupying a land that is not his and occupying a Palestinian land. That's why we got used to his aggressions, and we got used to resisting.